for speed.
Sound production.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production. Take 2.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? Now, we're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Or, your father was right. You were an idiot, and everything you watched was stupid. So buckle up, movie aficionados. Over-the-top gore? Check. Over-embellished action? Check. Gratuitous nudity? Double check. Storylines so absurd you could drive a semi-truck through those plot holes. Oh yeah, some of those movies didn't even know what a movie plot was. And that's the way we liked it. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
How's it going?
It's going okay. How you doing?
Good. How was your New Year's?
My New Year's was good. I went up to Cambridge. I saw my friends. Went to a party her brother was throwing.
Did you stay at a hotel
really
and get picked up, or did you go all the way there?
No, I went all the way there. Well, I
Oh.
went to. Let me rephrase. I went to Kitchener,
Hmm.
and then I got picked up from Kitchener because
Oh, okay.
trying to get to Cambridge via GO Transit is a mission and a half, and there are way too many buses and trains you got to change to. So I was like, let's take the simpler way, and you just come to Kitchener and pick me up. How was your New Year's?
Pretty quiet. We ordered Chinese, played board games with the kids.
Perfect.
Pretty
How many of you
stupid.
made it to midnight?
Most of it. The 6-year-old didn't.
Well, yeah,
She didn't make it.
she didn't make it. We were
No.
rooting for her, but no.
I don't think she made it till 10.
God
She was done.
bless. That's pretty late though for
Yeah.
6-year-olds.
Yeah.
She did
Yeah.
well. She did well.
So I meant to ask you last time because I meant to go over it too. What did you because last episode we talked a lot about the past movies. I'm almost
We
thinking
did.
that should just be like an episode next.
Honestly, I
Next,
think it might be good to have that as just an episode.
Yeah, because that was like almost 45 minutes. I didn't even realize it was
Dang.
that long. But once I saw the editing thing go through it, yeah, it was long.
That's impressive.
But I meant to ask you, did you get anything particular for Christmas? Anything
So
anything
got
family PG?
yeah, no, I got a lot of family PJ stuff, so trust me on that. So my niece and my nephew, both their names were on there, but my niece and my nephew got me okay, I'm a big reader, so I read this entire series by an author named Kelly Armstrong. She's Canadian. She's awesome. Everybody should read her books. And I finished a series, and then there was going to be a spin-off of that series with like the same characters. So when I was on vacation in the Dominican, I finished that series and I was like, can't wait for the next book. So she got me the next book, but I had already gotten myself the next book and I read it. So I was like, oh, she's like, you've read it, haven't you? And I was like, yeah, a little bit. She's like, gift receipts in there. And I was like, you just paid for the next book, which is coming out in February. So you just bought me my next book. It's still super awesome. I also got a bag of like mini Kinder Buenos, which are delicious,
Oh yeah.
and a scratch card. And then, of course, the ever lovely envelope of cash from my dad.
Sweet.
And I'm thrilled with it. Thrilled. It's funny though, because as I've
They say
gotten
cash
older,
isn't a good gift, but
I
disagree.
love cash. That shows you love
Yeah, cash
me.
good.
Cash and gift cards, I'm all for. Because it drives me nuts when people buy me things and they think they know me.
Yeah.
And then you're like, not exactly close, but not exactly. So I'm like, just give me cash. I like it.
No, cash says I love you enough that I'm not going to get you a shitty present, and I'm going to let you
Yes.
go and get your own present.
Or my personal favorite when I was super broke in my 20s, One of my favorite presents I ever got was a $100 gift card to Sobeys because that was my local grocery store at the time, and I was like, "Oh my god, I love you. I'm gonna buy fancy meat."
The meat that's not near the expiry date.
That's right. The not on discount, not on sale, just regular meat. Not not ground beef or ground whatever, not the ones that come in the tubes. Yeah, I'm gonna get real meat. It was an exciting time. What did you get for Christmas? Did you get anything for me?
Um, I got slippers and shit
Slippers
like
are
that.
awesome.
But yes, I do like slippers, don't get me wrong. But I got my wife a couple things. I got my wife a couple things that personal things type, not just things
Yeah.
for her. But then I got things that we kind of wanted, which she told us we wanted.
Yes, yes.
So I got the rain shower, the big square
Ooh.
thing that hangs over and it has the attachment to it to do that. Oh my god, that thing's fucking awesome.
You know what? It is really, really awesome. I will totally give you that. However, as a curly-haired girl, that is the bane of my existence because I
Yeah, I don't
can't
have that
I
problem.
yeah, you don't have that problem. But I can't wash my hair every day, otherwise it's just gonna get really brittle and, like, weird looking. Then I'm gonna look like Rosanna what is it? Rosanna Dana from SNL, like, back in the day. Oh,
Rosanna Dana. Oh, okay.
yeah, you know the character, it's just very big. That's what my hair would look like if I washed it every day, so those I love them when I'm on vacation, and it's so great. It's like standing out in the rain, only it's not cold.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice and warm.
Amazing.
Does
Yeah.
have an attachment though that you can go just to the handheld thing.
Yeah, I know, but that's super annoying when you're trying to, like, wash it
Yeah.
like, obviously, I'm a two-hand washer, like, excuse me, there are gloves and it's a thing, so I can't really
Oh,
hold my
it
hands up.
has a mount, so you could
Yeah,
it's
I
right
know, but
underneath it. Yeah. No?
yeah, no, because then you put it at a certain height, and then I wanna change the height. Mine is an adjustable one that I can
Oh, okay.
fiddle with, so it's just not
Now,
but yeah,
the
anyways.
other thing I got, and there's a story behind this one,
Mhm.
I got her was do you know
So,
what that is?
is that is that a bidet? Like, one of the
It is a bidet.
Ah,
Now, the Tushy is I believe they're the first people that did it. They're like the high standard thing. And
well, the
that's
first
how I
ones that
found
did, like, the attached to the toilet
they
bidet.
attached to the toilet.
Yeah.
Right. So, and their marketing was basically like their marketing like on the box here it says stop wiping your butt, start washing with Tushy. And it's Tushy, aka bum wash,
Yep.
aka butt kisser,
Yep.
aka Hiney Shiner,
Nice. I like that one.
your new butt buddy. The first bidet for the rest buddy. And if you go to their website, tushy.com, and they're
Yeah.
not paying me. This is a public service
But
announcement.
I mean, if Tushy.com
Um,
wants to pay us, we're not gonna say
their
no.
whole advertising is about poop and pooping and shitting, and they even put it on their website. It's very clever. Now, I got a Tushy. They're very expensive. Um, a few years ago, my wife said she wanted a bidet. And I'm
Yes.
like, why? So as she kept saying, and the Christmas rolled around, and I found Tushy, and I'm like, I'm not paying that. So I got kind of like a knockoff one, just
Yeah.
to see if because she never really tried it before, type thing.
Yeah.
And she got it, and she was like, "Ooh, it's so clean, it's so nice." And she's like, "Why don't you try it?" And I'll be honest, I
Yep.
wasn't fucking trying a bidet. And I was like, because I'll be honest, I was like, that's a little gay. It's a little homoerotic. Now, this a few years ago. I wasn't as woke then as I am now.
I was gonna say, what? So heterosexuals just don't want clean butts?
So, so one day everyone was out of the house
Yeah,
and I lit a couple candles.
of course.
No, I I went and tried it. And I've had this talk a couple times with friends because they're like, well, doesn't it is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
The bidets. Oh my god. Just
yeah.
oh
See, I'm Portuguese, my parents are Portuguese immigrants, so the bidet is just a normal thing for us. We have
And
3
most of Europe
bathrooms.
is kind of like that.
Yeah, most of them have, but also because their plumbing systems can't really handle toilet paper a lot of the time.
Yeah,
So
fair enough.
you can't do a like crap ton of wiping, pardon the pun, and then put all the toilet paper into the toilet. So a lot of people have bidets just because it's normal because you're like your butt is dirty, you wash your butt. It just makes sense. So
Yeah.
in my house, we have 3 bathrooms. 2 of them have bidets. One of them has been out of commission for many, many years because I'm not a huge bidet user. Um, but like my dad still uses it on the daily, yo. That 87-year-old Portuguese man is washing his butt with some water after
Oh,
every poop.
I've been blasting my ass ever since Christmas morning. It's the Tushy has a lot more smaller valves, way more pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Well, we have the bidet with the little fountain, which is nice.
The little that cleans it.
Well, because you can either do it so that it fills the basin, so the water comes
Oh,
out from
okay.
the sides and fills the basin, or because it's a standalone, or you
Oh,
can
okay.
switch it, and then there's a little like, I guess, head or something that in the bottom that shoots water up your butt.
Yes. This
So
one
that's
has a thing that comes down. It's like a thing, and
a
then it
little tube,
opens, and
yeah.
it has little nozzle, little
Yep.
hole things, and then blasts. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also has a clean feature that you turn it, and it just, if there's anything on. I've never, since we've had even the first one, the cheaper one, and this one, I've never, because everyone was like, well, it doesn't get shit everywhere. I'm like, no,
No.
it doesn't. It just, no. You think it would. I'm sure if you had like a really bad, you were sick and you were having a really bad day, maybe, but on the
No.
normal, no, it's
No, because it
not.
just, like, shoots up and then the water immediately falls back
It just
down.
goes back down. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
not like it gets, like, any air time.
Yeah.
I love this. I think bidets are great,
Yes,
and
I do too.
honestly, I think if more men used bidets, there would
Yeah,
be a
they wouldn't
lot
smell like
happier.
ass.
Yeah. A lot of us there would be less fights in marriages and relationships, in
Yeah.
heterosexual marriages and relationships, because 'cause you'd never fewer people with the nickname skid mark.
Yep.
You know, I think this would be very good for society.
Yeah. So for everyone listening, bidet, get a bidet.
Get a
They're
bidet
awesome.
from
If you have a
tushy.com.
slow child like I do, they might use it as a fountain.
I mean, it
So
happens. It happens. For the most part, I used to wash my feet in my bidet, like, every day. Like, that was, like, right before I would go
I
to wash your feet.
I guess so, yeah.
Because all you
I
gotta do is spray some, like, bathroom cleaner around it, run the
Oh
water for
yeah,
a bit,
yeah, run the water a bit, yeah.
all the poop's gone, you wash your feet. It's very nice. I'm
Fucking
just saying.
Portuguese.
I'm sorry we like to have clean bodies in all of our
Yeah.
crevices. It's crazy, I know.
All right. Okay, so anything else about Christmas you want to talk about?
I made a really good prime rib.
Oh, I like prime rib.
Yeah, and the mashed potatoes I made, they slapped. They were awesome.
Yeah. We just
I also made really delicious shrimp for Christmas Eve.
we just had shrimp. We had shrimp and crab Alfredo tonight.
Ooh.
The leftover shrimp from New Year's. And we
Yeah,
just I guess there might be one little thing of Chinese food knock around, but it's pretty much all gone. It's gotten
nice.
expensive.
It has. All you
Very
know what
expensive.
though?
Well, all
All
food's gotten
takeout.
expensive. Yeah,
All
it's
food in general, but all takeout has gotten expensive
oh
too.
wow.
Because like I ordered some Japanese last night and I was like, I remember when these entrees were like $16 and now they're coming in at like 20.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
ugh, that
I'm
hurts.
like, yeah, because I was thinking, oh, Chinese food, $11, $12 a dish. No, it's
Yep.
$14, $17 a dish, depending on what you
Oh yeah. God forbid you get anything
$230
that has
later.
like shrimp in it or well, you've also
Oh
got a
yeah, we got
plethora
a bunch
of
of
people
kids.
in your
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
So and once you have a lot of kids, the kids aren't like it's not like when you're an adult and you're like, we'll get one thing of rice, we'll get like a 2 meats and maybe some spring rolls and you're
Yeah.
done. And you've still got leftovers for the next kids.
Yeah.
They're
No.
like they want everything on the menu.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, Money Train, we are going to preview Money Train.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we get back, we are going to review Money Train.
Yeah, we are.
All right. So, here we go. All right. Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. And we are going into the new year and watching another New Year's movie called Money Train, starring Woody Harrelson, Wesley Snipes, and I forgot J-Lo.
How did you forget J-Lo?
I don't know. Yeah.
That's it. You're fired.
Jennifer Lopez is in this movie too. What do you
Yeah.
remember about Money Train?
I remember it being super cool. Like, to be perfectly honest, I remember it being really, really cool. I remember it being funny, but that's pretty much all I remember about it. Like, I know that I think it's supposed to be a heist. They're supposed to be stealing money from a train.
Yeah.
I think that was the plan, but I can't remember if they managed to do it, if they got caught, did they ride off to the side? I don't remember any of that. It's been
I
a
rem
long time since I've watched this movie.
Yes, and 90s. It was the 90s.
Yeah.
I watched it then. I might probably would have watched it another maybe one or two times after that, but it would have been in the 90s. Most
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
100%. It was late 90s that I watched this.
Yeah.
So
And
well over 20 years ago.
I am a huge Woody Harrelson fan. I am a big Wesley Snipes fan. 80s and 90s, they both made, and Woody Harrelson's still making movies.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes has started making movies again, but they were in Wildcats together, White Men Can't Jump, and then this one.
Hmm.
But yeah, I remember it being cool. It's just another either buddy cop movie or just an action-packed action movie.
I
That's why
remember it having a lot of action.
yeah.
Can't remember any of the storyline. Does that bode
Well,
well for this?
probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
Well, let's go to
Oops.
the box office. It opened on November 22nd, 1995. It had a budget of $68 million in
Jiminy crickets.
1995. It opened in 2,522 theaters on the same day as Toy Story and Casino.
Oh.
It opened at number 4 behind Toy Story, GoldenEye, and Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
Mm.
The weekend total was 15.5 million, not bad, but it puttered out at 35.4.
God, that's terrible.
Yeah, I checked. Like Jurassic Park was made for 60 million.
Damn.
GoldenEye was made for 63, less than this movie. I remember GoldenEye having he was driving the tank down the
Yeah.
street and helicopters and yeah, so it did not do well. It bombed.
No.
And that's
But
probably
it's
why we didn't see another movie with them together in it.
but the weird thing is, I remember Money Train being almost like a cultural touchstone of the late 90s. Like, I remember me and all of my friends talking about it, and we referenced it like years later. Maybe it's just because Jennifer Lopez is still like in our realm.
Yeah,
Woody
maybe.
Harrelson, I feel like he's not moved on from Money Train, but this was not the highlight of his career.
No.
But I know Jennifer Lopez still talks about Money Train because it was like one of her bigger kind of roles early in her career.
All right, well, let's go to tail of the tape. Money Train, 1995 action movie, rated R, and comes in at a hefty 1 hour and 50 minutes.
This better be entertaining.
Yeah, hopefully. Taglines: if you're a criminal, stay on the train.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Get on or get out of the way.
Not bad.
That's okay. Get on the fast track.
That works a lot better.
That's
Cheesy as hell, but it works a lot better.
synopsis. Where are we here? Charlie, Woody Harrelson, is a New York City transit cop with a mountain of gambling debts, and John, Wesley Snipes, is his responsible and frequently exasperated foster brother. Oh, okay, they were brothers in this. They compete amicably for the affections of fellow officer Grace, Jennifer Lopez, but things become more serious when Charlie decides to rob the money train that carries the transit authorities' daily proceeds. John must decide whether to prevent Charlie's crime or to join in on the heist.
Interesting.
Still not remembering a whole lot.
Me neither.
And the poster, that's not a poster. It's nothing spectacular, but gets the job done.
It's super
guess.
90s.
Yeah, it's super 90s, but
Yeah. But I mean, it's fine.
I wouldn't buy it or anything like hanging on my wall.
No.
All right. Let's go to Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb.
Mm.
32 critic reviews have this movie at 22%.
Jiminy Cricket.
50,000 audience members has it slightly better at 29%.
Jeez.
Critic consensus: loud, incoherent, and aimless. Money Train reunites Snipes and Harrelson and proves that starring duos are far from immune to the law of diminishing returns.
Jeez. It's kind of
So
harsh.
we will start with the positive, and you may go first.
Fantastical. More viscerally charged than Speed and hipper than Die Hard with a Vengeance, the movie is a careening, screeching joyride that showers sparks like fireworks. Stephen Holden, New York Times, original score 4 out of 5.
Okay, Steven, that's a
Uh,
pretty big fucking claim that it's better than Speed and Die Hard, with two movies that I do remember very well because I saw them a ton of shit times.
I still watch Speed regularly. It's
It
one of
is
my favorite movies of all time.
and Die Hard with a Vengeance with
Mm,
Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Will. Oh, so
so
good.
good.
Okay. Money Train is a by the numbers action buddy picture, and few directors run through those numbers as smoothly as Joseph Rubin. Kenneth Turan, a Los Angeles Times original score, 3 out of 5. Yeah, even if it's a by the numbers action movie, I'm fine.
Yeah.
You can
Fun,
start.
fun action flick with J-Lo at smoking hot best. Glenn M, 4 stars. Thanks, Glenn.
Yeah. Despite the bland story and bad acting, mostly by J-Lo, Snipes, Snipes and Harrelson saved this train wreck with their great chemistry and timing. Unknown, 3 stars.
It's okay. Not great, but I've seen worse. Seen better too, though. Unknown, 3 stars.
Ah, great.
This is gonna be
Rotten.
fun.
It's stupid, but also breezier than this year's other 12 score releases. Not worth a second look. Mike Clark, USA Today, original score 2.5 out of 4.
The 2 stars do manage to get off a couple of amusing riffs, and Snipes gets to show off some of his kung fu fighting skills. But that's hardly enough to rescue what amounts to a real mess. Chris Hicks, Deseret News, Salt Lake City.
Even if they only charged a token, it would be too much. Hal Hinson, Washington Post.
Hal, you're
Oh,
so
Hal.
mean.
You may start.
Dumb as dog shit on a cake. Unknown, 1.5 stars.
Didn't know what to expect, but what I'm watching isn't it. Unknown, 1 star.
White men can't pull off a train heist. Unknown, 2.5 stars.
IMDb.
Fantastic.
IMDb has 43,000 user ratings, coming at 5.7 out of 10. For an action movie, it could go
Actually,
either way.
it
It's
could go
not,
either way out for action movies, but
yeah,
it's better than I expected after the Rotten Tomatoes.
yeah. You may start.
Thank you. White Men Can't Jump 2, The Great Train Robbery, the greatest movie of all time. 10 out of 10. Filmmocker.
One of Wesley Snipes' best films, in my opinion, with great action scenes and an awesome finale and an amazing performance from Wesley Snipes. 9 out of 10. Wesley Snipes. He didn't want to do the 10 out of 10 one. He wanted to make it look a
No,
little
no,
more.
because then it would be too obvious. It would be
Yeah,
too
it would be
obvious.
too obvious.
But that was
Callan
Callan
Bass.
Bass.
Callan Bass. That's who
Quote,
actually did it.
unquote, Callan Bass. We see you, Wesley. It's okay. It's not about robbing trains, but something else. 8 out of 10. Puns.
One of Snipes, one of Lopez's, and also one of Harrelson's best. 7 out of 10. Stamper.
Simple entertainment. 6 out of 10. R.B. Verhoof.
Yeah. So after Rotten Tomatoes, yes, simple entertainment. That's fine. I'll
Yeah.
take simple entertainment.
As long as I'm entertained.
All that money and they still couldn't afford a plot. 5 out of 10. Curiosity killed Sean.
But satisfaction brought him back. We don't need these kinds of movies. 4 out of 10. Lee Eisenberg.
Dear God, someone hand me the remote. I can't take anymore. 3 out of 10. CRFRPN, whatever the hell that Criferpin.
Sure. Has anyone put this together? 2 out of 10. KB2894.
Oh, okay, the 1 out of 10. Okay, I used part of his review for this too. Hold on your seats. One good scene, guess which, in a total piece of manure. The hot sex scene where Wesley Snipes bangs Jennifer Lopez sideways definitely chops some wood. The rest of the film is the biggest piece of drivel I have ever sat through a movie theater. 1 out of 10. Oh, come on. Oh,
I need to fucking print that up and frame that.
yeah, right underneath the poster on the wall. That'd be awesome.
Oh my god.
Well, now I got that to look forward to.
Definitely chop some wood.
All right, we are going to watch trailer for Money Train and then make our predictions. Here we go.
That report says you're brothers. You, sir, are a Negro. He is white. Is somebody trying to jerk me around?
No, sir. Actually, we're foster brothers.
Yeah, see, I ran away from this orphanage.
I'm sure it's a very touching story, but shut up! Every day in New York City,
We got a police action, sir, 6 lines south of Wall Street.
it's the job of the transit cop
Come on, Grandma!
stay to risk his life and keep the peace.
How you guys doing? Nice to meet you.
Damn, this job is looking up.
They're not just partners.
You brought the money, right? Yeah, $300.
Hey, mother owes Mr. Brown 15,000.
15,000? Drop him.
They're family.
He's a great guy, huh?
Yeah.
Too bad he's got that problem with women.
Now, they're about to discover
You're stopping trains. I want to know why.
So we got cops on the tracks down there.
Nothing stops the money train.
the system cares more about the train that carries its money.
My train. My people. My money.
Than it does about its cops.
You mess with my train, and I'll kill you.
3-4 million at least. You know what we can do with that kind of money?
We're not going to rob the money train.
Why not?
Because we're cops.
You're a loser. You're a wreck looking for someplace to happen. I'll be there.
But why take the heat when you can take the train?
We gotta do this. We can do this. No. We're gonna do it. No. We're gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
This Thanksgiving, the train hits your station. Money Train.
With you and me together, man, what can stop us?
Trailer looks good. It's the same voiceover dude that does reindeer games.
Yes, that does all of them. But
I mean, it looks typical action. I can see where they spent all their money.
yeah, I could definitely see where they
recreating-
spent. Also, they actually filmed it in the New York subway, so that's going to cost a pretty penny.
Yeah.
And then paying for off-duty police officers. to wear
I have a
security.
feeling too, after White Man Can't Jump, Snipes and Harrelson got paid.
Yeah, they got paid for
They
the.
got
I'm sure they
paid.
did. But yeah, no, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know
hoping.
how good it'll be, but
I'm
I
not
think it'll be
expecting
fun.
great here, but it looks
No.
like an action movie with some comedy and
It's an hour and 15 minutes long, so I would very much like to not feel that
Yeah.
hour and 50 minutes. So as long as the time passes at a pretty good pace and there's enough entertainment and kind of quips for me to laugh at. And now I'm curious to see how hot that sex scene is.
yeah, I'll be able to chop some wood at least. There's that. Gonna have to go down somewhere else where there aren't people around.
Yeah, no, maybe
Easier
you
said
watch
than
it.
done in my home.
It's because you have like 45 kids.
Yeah. All
They're
right.
taking
Well,
over.
so we're hoping to like it. We always hope to like it, but we think it'll be just an average.
I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking it's going to be super great. I don't think I'm going to rave about it, but I think it'll be fine.
All right. Well, we are going to go watch Money Train. And then when we come back, we are going to review it.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And now, on with the show.
Yay!
Woo! Excuse me.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I have watched Money Train. Have you watched Money Train?
Oh, have I watched Money Train?
Did you chop some wood?
There was no wood chopping. Let me tell you, there was no wood chopping, and I'm a little disappointed about that.
Yeah. All right, your initial thoughts?
This was one of the most boring movies I've ever watched in my life. And even Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson's chemistry could not save it. Because boy, did they have chemistry, but it was not good. Not good.
See, my initial thoughts are I didn't hate it. I think the reviews were kind of spot on, both the good and the bad. And I think they're a little harsh at the time, and that goes for the good reviews and the bad reviews. Maybe they were sometimes some of them were a little overly generous with the reviews. Don't get me wrong, this is not a great movie.
No.
But it wasn't void of entertainment.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen.
No. It wasn't as bad as some of the reviews made it out. It wasn't as good as some of the reviews made it out either. But my initial thought is I didn't hate it. I didn't mind watching it. I
was bored through most of it, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I was bored, and I was also checking to see how far into the movie we were. Like, I was like, how far in is this?
Yeah, that's not good.
Because it feels like nothing's happened. And
yeah.
So I was like I remember at one point I made the note that like we were 51 minutes in, and I was like, I feel like we're not going anywhere with this story. And we're like more than halfway through.
I felt like they tried to do too much. They tried to do there's different stories going on, and they're trying to build character development, and
it got distracting.
They probably could have shaved 20 minutes off.
Yeah.
They probably could have lost some aspects of the movie, some of the side things. And there were a lot of shitty parts where I rolled my eyes, made off the cuff remarks about it by myself. And can I also say the amount of recognizable actors in this movie?
So many.
Holy shit.
So many. Like I did actually squeal a little bit when Enrico Colantoni was on, and I was like, Enrico.
Which one was that?
He plays Dooley. So the first time that they're stationed on the money train, and it's going through, and then the fight breaks out.
Yeah. Also, there was the was that the first one? I can't remember the name of the actor, but he plays the brother-in-law in Breaking Bad, the FBI agent. Is that the guy from Just Shoot Me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I saw him there too. The muggers. I recognized the guy. He was in The Deuce. I recognized the other guy. I didn't know what he was from though. Yeah, just the amount of people. A couple of the other cops. A couple of the gangsters.
There were a lot of people that I was like, I know your face. I know your face.
Soprano.
Oh my god, you're from this. Oh, you're from this. Oh, you're from this.
There was a lot. Like a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, let's go through the movie. So I did not hate it. You hated it by the sounds of it a little more than I did.
I didn't like actively hate it, but I didn't like it.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So Foster brothers John and Charlie Robinson are transit cops patrolling the New York City subway on Christmas. They chase two muggers into a subway tunnel. So Woody or Charlie's pretend to be drunk. The decoy.
Yep. Decoy.
Yeah. These kids see he's wasted and decide to rob him. Then they pull out his badge. Charlie is smiling. Chase begins. And I like this. Charlie and John, Woody and Wesley insulting each other as they're running and chasing kids,
Yep.
laughing when one falls and trips. But right away, you can see the chemistry between Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. It's
It's
undeniable.
off the charts.
Yeah.
Off the charts.
It is a
When they're
shame that this movie bombed. Like only
Yeah.
if it's the reason that it prevented any more movies these two made together.
Yeah. Well, whenever they're on screen together, like you can feel it. You can
Yeah.
feel the chemistry between them. And it flows and it's so smooth. And you're just like, yes, this is good.
Yeah. Just in the wrong movie.
Exactly.
Nearby trains are halted, but transit captain Donald Patterson allows the money train hauling subway revenue to continue. One of the teenage muggers is gunned down and killed by transit cops guarding the money train, triggering a brawl between them and the brothers.
Okay, can we talk about Patterson?
Yeah, well, first, to be fair, they did tell the mugger to stop repeatedly.
No,
Second,
they did.
even if I was running from two cops, the 6 or 7 men wearing SWAT gear holding fully automatic weapons would become my main concern.
I would have stopped.
Yes.
That's just me. When I
And
have a bunch of guns pointed at me, I don't run
Yes.
towards them.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a note here. Look, Wikipedia says Patterson blames John and Charlie for delaying the money train. I have a note here. Let's talk about Patterson.
Oh,
Played by
God.
Robert Blake, who was accused of and tried for murdering his wife, acquitted,
Yes, acquitted.
later found liable, but he was a little rascal from our gang. So I call it a wash. I'm a big Little Rascal fan.
Sir, I feel like your moral compass is not pointing to a true north.
Oh, come on. Watch a Little Rascals out. Come on.
No. No. Period. No. No. But
this-
I'll forgive you and your fucked up moral compass.
This character was so over the top.
I literally was like, wait, what's my note? At first I wrote Mike on the wall. Who the fuck? No nobody's gonna have a mic. Like an old-timey 1950s, I'm Elvis Presley singing, like I don't even know. Like it coming off the wall. I was like, that's ridiculous. But apparently he wants to stand in front of the glass to talk into the mic. I was like, fine. And then I said, also, why is the boss giving mob vibes?
Yeah.
He was giving off mob like boss vibes. And
His
I was
attire looked mob.
like,
Like his suits.
yes. He's wearing that like pinstripe suit and talking into the mic on the wall. And it was very, I don't care. We're gonna do it my way. And I'm like, how did you get promoted?
Yeah, and I don't know if the head of transit or just the head of the subway has more authority than the NYPD. Like maybe in the subway they do. I don't know. It just seemed like it was just for this movie. But his character was so over the top. Like, who was that? The mustache twirling villain. That guy. He did like way too much.
It was too much. It was too much, especially right off the bat, where like he just has this weird, like nobody fucks with the money train attitude. And I'm like, but there are people like on the like not just the robbers on the tracks, you're cops.
Yeah.
Because I think transit cops are their own
Yeah.
like division, we'll say. I don't know if they are also NYPD. This was not clarified to me. That's fine.
Oh, maybe that's why he was able to boss around like that.
Yeah, but I was like, the transit cops, your people are on the tracks, and you're all like, nah, keep the train going.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Also,
And they
that's
could have
not
made
safe for the money on the money
no,
train.
and they could have made him the bad guy without going this far. They could have just made him just by the rules, by the book,
Mhm.
and a little douchey. They didn't have this was like cartoon villainy.
Yes.
Like,
It's like they were trying to make him sinister, but it went like
yeah,
10 steps too far.
yeah,
And I'm like, all I'm getting is that like he's the third cousin of some like Italian crime family
yeah,
where they wouldn't even make him a captain. He wasn't even a consigliere. Like he was just, you know, stupid cousin Donald
yeah. He got the
that
shove
nobody
as a
wanted to let
favor.
into the family. So he's worked for the New York subway system. Like,
But the way he was going out, like he should have been kidnapping like a damsel in distress and tying her to the tracks for the money train to run over.
yes.
And I don't know if it was written this way or the director thought it would make the audience really hate him and cheer for the heroes, or Robert Blake said, "This is what I'm doing." Brandished a gun, and everyone like, "Whoa, Bob, cool down."
Well, I also think
Um,
at this point, like Robert Blake was still like a Hollywood legend.
yeah,
So I don't know if it was offered to him or if he auditioned. I have a feeling they offered it to him.
yeah, because
And
this
they
was
were like,
7
"Can you
years
do?"
before
Yeah, this was
the
7.
alleged the alleged murder.
Fuck yeah, air quotes. Yeah, so I have a feeling it was offered to him. I don't know the story. If anybody does, feel free to share. Um, but I have a feeling it was offered to him, and I have a feeling this was his take. I also have a feeling that the director tried to get him to change because you
Yeah,
can see some scenes where he's just an ass, and
yeah,
you're like, okay. And then there are some scenes where you're like, fuck, for reals?
yeah. It was just
Too
who was that
much.
character? Oh, shit, Dick Dastardly
Ah,
with the big long
yes,
mustache. Yeah. For those listening, Dick Dastardly was a cartoon villain from Hanna-Barbera with a sidekick Muttley on
yes.
the Wacky Races.
Who had a really weird laugh.
Another rude laugh, yeah.
Yeah, God bless.
Yeah, so he's full on douche. He calls them. I did like when he was confused that they were brothers, since John was a Negro and Charlie was white, and they're like laughing to each other.
Can I tell you when he said
Oh,
Negro, I was like,
yeah,
"Oh god." I had like a full body shiver where I was like, "Is it gonna be one of those movies?" I'm like,
kind of
"Please."
was.
It kinda was. Not totally, but it
No,
was I was like, "Oh, geez." Thankfully, they didn't go heavy into that kind of stuff, but god, did they really play into the whole, like, there's so much that I was just like some of it was funny, and
yep,
I will 100% give there's, like, an interaction between Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson where, he's Wesley or John is joking with Woody, Charlie, and being like, "Remember your heritage, da da da
mm,
da da," and I was like, "That's
I'm black
funny."
and I'm proud. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
I was
funny.
like, "That was funny."
I
But
think
there was
that's what
one
you
scene.
remember. Like you were saying, you quoted this movie. The movie does have a lot of one-liners, like a lot of stuff
Yeah.
like that in this. Yeah,
Yeah, so there were some things that I really liked about it, but then there were others where it was like when Charlie is walking home or walking away from John's apartment, and he's like, that's not how you walk in this neighborhood."
oh
And
yeah,
then
he
he
has to do
started
the
doing
strut.
this exaggerated strut thing, and I was like, "Oh, sweetie, sweetie, it is not 1985. You are not a pimp.
Yeah,
Can you can you not?"
this was probably funnier in 1995.
It probably was. It probably was. But
Uh,
anywho,
and yeah, because but they were told that the money train stops for no one. Even in real life, I'm sure it adheres to some law and code of conduct. And I don't know if they transport money like that anymore. Maybe I
I
have no
doubt it.
idea.
I
I
doubt
don't
well, because
see it.
now it I don't know if they still use tokens in New York, but a lot of them do have cards.
Yeah,
So, like the Metro card, like they're tapping their way through, so I highly doubt that there's that amount of money anymore.
yeah,
Because remember in 1985 or 1995, that was when, we all started using ATMs and getting debit cards and things
yeah.
like that, but not every business could take a debit card yet.
Yeah. Cash was still
Cash was
very
still,
much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you were going out for the day, you had a wad of
He had
cash on you.
cash. Yeah. So they're also mad at the meeting, and John says he'd like to steal that money train. Charlie is all in, but John quickly says he doesn't mean it. And then Charlie says, too late, and he stole the guy's little tiny money train, little toy. Charlie asks John for money to buy a Christmas present, but instead uses it to pay off gambling debts to mobsters Mr. Brown, only to get even more into debt when Brown intends to have his men throw Charlie off a building. Until John intervenes, revealing Charlie is $15,000 in debt. John at first decides to let them drop him. Yet, after brief conversation, Mr. Brown accepts John's promise to deliver the money in a few days. I like this scene, they dangling him, and when he's like 15,000, drop him.
Drop him. I ain't got it. Like I'm not giving that to you. I got 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John and Charlie both take a liking to Grace Santiago, an attractive newly assigned decoy transit officer. Yeah, it's Jennifer Lopez. I'd be excited too. I was excited watching her. The van scene where they meet her in the van and Grace is in the back. Then they turn around and like, oh my gosh, she's hot. Da, 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 da. I'm like,
yeah,
she would hear you, dude.
Not necessarily, because I have sat in the back seat of a van and I cannot hear what's being said in the row ahead of me, never mind two ahead of me. So I'm like, it's very possible. It's very possible that she didn't hear. They weren't exactly being subtle, though.
No, not
God
subtle
bless.
at all.
But also, God bless her for having such good hair in this movie. I just like to flag that her hair was good.
Yeah.
This was good hair.
Yeah, nice ass too. Just throw that up there.
Always
Thanks,
a nice
J-Lo.
ass.
Yeah, still. Oh my God.
Still
What
to
is
this
it? Almost
day.
30 years later.
Okay, look, her body has only, I don't know if I can say gotten better. It's changed a little bit, but like she still looks amazing. I will 100% give her that all day, every day. She looks absolutely amazing physically.
Yeah.
Like just incredible. Still, like from 1995 to now, she's hot. A slightly better actor now than she was then. But I mean, like I actually started wondering at one point during this movie if they were letting her film her scenes with the other actors or if they were just recording her lines like on their own. Like if they were like, no, just stand in front of Wesley and say all of your lines in succession. Don't actually interact with him. Because God bless. It felt like she was by herself. Even that kind of felt like she was by herself.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Poor Wesley had nothing to work with.
Right?
When a serial killer known as the Torch robs a token booth and sets it on fire at risk of killing the booth attendant. So this time, John is drunk, playing the drunk guy. Charlie and Grace are watching. Then they see the token collector across the tracks on fire. This should have been the main part of the movie. Like, dial Dick Dastardly down a few notches.
Yeah.
Or 10. Make the money train a side thing, or where they don't rob it, they just bust it or whatever. And concentrate on the serial killer. You could have made this a franchise. Don't get me wrong. Still need some rewriting here. And
a lot
Chris
of
Cooper.
rewriting.
Chris Cooper was the
he was the Torch.
Yeah, it was weird because he's a friggin' amazing actor.
No, he was super duper creepy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'd watch a movie about this guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could have split them in two.
Oh,
the first one about where they're the good guys trying to save the money train, and then do the serial killer movie. Like they tried to jam too much and then didn't concentrate on that stuff and tried to do all this other stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I can understand. Eventually you understand why
the
serial killer is like, you get it. You're like, okay, this is like a story tool. I get that. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm more interested in the serial killer than I
that
am
could have
in the
been
money
a
train.
great plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit not concerning, but I was like, because I kept wondering, I was like, why are we spending so much time on this guy? Because they also could have just done it where, he holds them up with a gun or a taser or something, and it a lot quicker and not as involved. But maybe it's just Chris Cooper. But I was like, I want to know your story, sir. I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know it all.
They had a whole movie there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. John and Charlie rescue the attendant and put out the fire, but Torch escapes and knocks out Grace. So kick-ass Wesley Snipes, or John, leaps past the train. That was a great shot
Yes.
to get over to the other side. Lazy Woody Harrelson, Charlie goes up and then down. Not for naught. The amount of fluid, the flammable fluid the Torch sprayed on that attendant and in that booth, she should have lit up like an Australian bushfire from 2020.
Oh, Jesus.
Seriously, little koala bear should have been running out screaming from under her fucking pants.
Oh
Like
my
she just only her arm caught on fire and he sprayed her. Like
Yeah.
she should have just went.
Well, what killed me was when he first sprays her, it hits the entire front of her body.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why is her shirt not on fire? Because it hit her shirt.
Yeah, come on.
And
R-rated.
Because
Set her on fire.
no, but it defied a little bit of logic because I was like, man, he's like covering her in this. And then we watch it and I'm like, she hardly was lit on fire.
Yeah.
'Cause that shit would have spread, especially in an enclosed space like that. So I was like,
Oh yeah.
this is defying logic.
Yeah.
But
And
God
just the
bless.
fumes in that closed area. And
Oh yeah.
but see, if they
She-
would have concentrated on this as the movie, that would have been cool.
It would have been so cool.
Yeah. So yeah. Where are we? Where is Wikipedia here? Yes, I did make a note where it could have been easily a franchise by split. I should have been a movie executive.
You should have been.
Yeah, I cut this shit off at the source before they go to filming.
Well, no, I would have changed Torch. I would have been like, that's a different movie.
Yeah.
Let's just make it so that this guy, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Tasers them or something.
Yeah. Oh, I'd be running Warner Brothers. No, where was this movie made? Sony. Sweet, get involved. Spider-Man movies. I would have stopped Morbius dead in its tracks. I tell you what. John rejects Charlie's plan to rob the money train to pay off the debt. When they and Grace are assigned to patrol the money train, Charlie discovers a grate in the train's floor and a maintenance ladder leading to Central Park. A brawl breaks out between John and another officer, quickly involving the entire squad. Yeah, this was stupid.
So stupid.
Standing in someone else's spot. The officer, John, would have obviously moved or got out of the way for the guard. They wouldn't have been that dicky. But we needed to see the maintenance men working, and then end up in Dick Dashley's office again. Yeah, it was just specifically written to aid the story, not to help it or make it better. It's aiding it. Not so great writing. Don't get me wrong, the dialogue for the most part when like Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes are talking is great. The story,
I love them.
not so much.
The story, no.
No.
The story is super clunky.
Yeah.
It's like they kept realizing that they were running into logic problems. So they just kept creating new stuff to fix the logic problems rather than working with what they already had.
Yeah.
And they just kept adding to it and adding to it. And it made the story bulky and clunky. And it drove me bananas.
Yeah, this could have easily been an hour and a half.
Yeah. Because you could have just had, even on the money train, everybody trading barbs and, kind of being smartasses with each other. And, like joking around, but kind of being like, you're a dick, so I'm going to make you feel like a dick. While still noticing the maintenance men, while still noticing the grate and still doing that. Having the fight break out just felt really extra.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. Again, blaming the brothers and accusing them of taking some of the money, Patterson continues to berate them even after realizing a collection agent miscounted. Did the agent miscount, or did he steal it?
I thought he took it.
I thought he took it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie tells John the best time to rob the money train would be New Year's Eve due to less security and the year's highest proceeds. Being the year's highest proceeds up to $4 million that night. I will attest to this. Back in the day, whenever they were raising the prices or tokens on the passes, it was usually January 1st, was it not?
Yeah,
because that's when they
there were a
changed.
couple in the fall, like
Right.
before school would start, but
So I remember buying like my pass and getting a bunch of tokens just to have on spare because it always pissed me off when they raised the prices. Because did they do it every year?
Not every
raise
year.
it? Not every year, no.
Not every year. They were doing that for the passes for quite a few years, where they were like, "Oh, the pass is going to increase by another $3 or another $5 or another $2." And
Yeah.
now they're fucking ridiculous. But yeah, they were doing it for the passes and they were holding off on like cash ones, and then they would do that like once every 3 to 5 years.
Okay. John gives Charlie $15,000 to pay back Mr. Brown. Okay, first it was because he felt guilty, and we have to go back Wikipedia.
Mhm.
Earlier they went to the bar. John and Grace had a little something going on. Charlie comes over, starts hitting on her, tells Grace John is gay.
Yes.
They go to the bar again where they talk about robbing the train. Again, John is like, I would like to, but we're cops. And then this is the second time they're at the bar. Sees Grace
Yep.
dancing outside by herself. This was a stupid scene.
So fucking stupid.
And they danced not very well for being a black man and a Latino one. I'll just say it was fucking horrible. Should be ashamed of themselves.
This is really
I could have
terrible.
done that.
I don't know if you could have done that.
Well,
Like,
no,
let's
but
be real.
with a little training, I could have gotten that good.
No, true, you could have. And it's so sad because I used to spend a lot of time in Latin clubs in my youth. And I like when I saw J-Lo dancing by herself, I was like, first of all, you look like a fucking moron. Second of all, I was like, really? That's all you got?
And she was
That's
a
all you
fly
got?
girl on Living
She
Color.
was a
What the
fly
hell?
girl. She's had years of training and she's
Yeah.
Puerto Rican. I'm like, girl, salsa should be in your blood. But anyways, then Wesley comes out, God bless him. Apparently he does know how to salsa too. I don't know if he did for this movie, but or if he was just matching energies. And then they had one of the most boring, least sexy, like just pedestrian, like little dance
Yeah.
with a few twirls.
Yeah.
I was like, this is just boring. We don't need this. You can do for a slow dance. Like she's outside. It was too hot in there. They kind of chit chat for a bit. And then the slow song comes on and she says something like, dance with me. And then they slow dance. And then you can have the exact same scene. You don't need the salsa,
No.
which was anticlimactic at best.
Yeah, I would have got stunt doubles or dance doubles.
She's supposed to be able to dance.
Yeah. I would have loved to have been a studio executive. John is like, no, I can't, and leaves because they were about to kiss because earlier they were walking and talking. Charlie and John were walking, talking, arguing, and John finally said, you go for it, man, because they were arguing about her. I think that was that when they got mugged?
No, it was
a little later.
It was he gets mugged.
No, like when they both were the three guys come out and point the guns at them while they were arguing.
No. That's after
That's
this
later?
night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the walking happens before that.
Okay.
So it's at the end of this night that they get mugged by the guys, or they try to get mugged.
Right.
You guys try to mug them?
So Charlie ends up hanging out with Grace because John leaves.
Yep.
And there's this when Charlie ends up at John's house saying he's in love.
Yes.
Right. And then he says he doesn't, a gentleman never tells. He's like, he thought he kissed her. So John goes to the gym to work out that aggression. Most people go in the shower and have a wank, but Wesley goes and works out for a couple hours. Whatever, teach their own.
That's because John is having all kinds of emotions because he kind of loves Grace Santiago.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he's trying to sacrifice his own feelings for his brother, who feels like he never gets anything good in life. And he's like, well, if you want Grace Santiago, I'm going to bow out. I'm not going to fight you for her.
Yeah. First
Like,
time ever.
Yeah. And then
she
he
shows
fights
up.
her.
Yeah. Grace shows up. They box. She realizes John isn't doing anything because Charlie likes her. And she's like, don't be a bitch. Why don't you hit this? And then he hits her and knocks her to the ground.
Yeah.
And then they go and is this when they go and chop some wood?
No, they are not chopping wood, but they make
They're not
plans
chopping
to
wood.
chop wood.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so where were we with Charlie? $15,000 to pay back Mr. Brown. But while on the train, Charlie's pickpocketed by an old lady and then beaten by Brown's men as punishment. So then we cut to they meet up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we get to see Jennifer Lopez's boobies. Sort of.
Yes.
Awkwardly.
There's some boobage. I was
There's
like, that's a
boobage.
nipple.
Yeah, I saw a nipple. Very
Yep.
quick,
And then I
very
saw
odd.
another nipple.
Yeah, then I saw another nipple.
It was very dark though, so I mean, it was like suggestive nipple.
It wasn't as hot as that IMDb
It was not hot at
review
all.
made
Like,
out.
I don't care what anybody says. This was not a hot sex scene.
No.
There was nothing hot about it.
No, they didn't
was-
have a lot of chemistry.
It was as hot as they're dancing. This is why I say I think Jennifer Lopez, I think they literally just put her in front of the actors. I was like, just say your lines
Yeah.
while looking at Wesley, or just, make a face.
Yeah.
I was like, you do not look like you're having a good time, Jennifer Lopez.
This was her first actually. She made a lower budget movie before this, all TV before this, and this was her first big budget movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people credit this as being her like big break, because it was the first big budget thing that she had done, and this was her first big budget like acting.
Yeah.
That she had done.
Yeah. Yeah. And this sex scene, it didn't make me want to chop any wood either.
Yeah, no. There was no chemistry. Neither of them really looked like they were having fun. Wesley looked like he was having a little more fun than her, which usually is the case. I'm not saying anything about anybody, but I'm saying 9 times out of 10, hetero sex usually involves one person having more fun than the other.
Yeah. I'm always having fun. I don't know about the other person.
And that says a lot about that. That says a lot about that. But yeah, no, it was one of the most unsexy sex scenes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Charlie gets pickpocketed. Oh, it says actually right here on Wikipedia, John's visited by Grace have both realized mutual attraction to each other, and the two have sex. My bad.
Yep.
My trust in Wikipedia is limited at best. Returning home, stopping by John's apartment, he is saddened to spot Grace and John sleeping together and walks away, with John feeling remorse for hurting Charlie as well as disappointment after Charlie tells him he lost the money. In a sting operation to apprehend Torch, Grace is disguised as a token booth attendant. Realizing the trap, Torch distracts police by pushing a man in front of a moving train, killing him. Torch sprays gasoline on Grace, but before he can light it, Charlie alerts the other officers who open fire. John pursues the killer into another station where they fight. Good chase scene. Charlie is a little shoot happy. Holy shit.
Little shoot happy, but we also have to mention that when Charlie shows up, he's late, first of all.
Late. Smells of alcohol.
Smells of alcohol. So John's like, are you fucking drunk? And he's like, look, man, I just got to explain to you what happened. He's like, I don't really care. The simple fact is you keep fucking up. Like, just stop fucking up.
Yeah.
He's like, if you're drunk, go home. Like, I don't know. He's like, I'm not drunk. I'm not drunk. I just haven't taken a shower since yesterday. And I'm like,
Drunk
okay.
people always say that.
They always do. God. This is not vodka coming out of my skin.
Yeah.
It's the rubbing alcohol. Fine. But then when John goes out to help with the guy that got pushed, all he says to Charlie is keep your eyes on Grace.
Right. And then he
just watch Grace. And then you see what Charlie is looking at through the binoculars.
Yeah.
It's the tracks.
He drops them. Yeah, he's on the other side of the tracks, not Grace.
Yeah. Then he drops
the binoculars. Yeah.
Picks them back up, looks back at the track where the guy got pushed.
Yeah.
Still not Grace.
I was trying to remember if J-Lo got lit up in this.
Well, he finally turns towards the thing and it's on fire. Or no, it's about to be on fire. I think it's about to be on fire. He's got the match up, and that's when he calls in the 1013.
Right.
And says,
then they
everybody go.
Yeah, and then chasing them. What did he hope to accomplish by firing his gun into the air at the park?
I don't know.
I didn't get that. I know the reason behind, again, to aid almost hit 2 kids getting hit by that horse and carriage.
Yeah, but the only reason that horse and carriage, yeah, I know, it was like
was
we
by
need a
him.
reason for him to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was his gunshots.
His gunshots in the air, like it's the fucking Wild West. And as a cop, you would know that is some shitty gun safety.
Yeah.
You should never shoot your gun without a target.
No.
Whether that target is like an actual physical target or a human being. You don't randomly shoot into the air because then that bullet can hit anybody. Anyways, that's my gun safety.
Funny.
No, it wouldn't, because that actually happened to someone. Someone, I think it was at a
Oh, it happens
wedding.
all the time, apparently.
Happens all the time, yeah. They shoot into the air, and I've heard stories of, like, people with the bullet ending up in the heads of people who were just in the area or a
Yeah.
little further away, and you're just like, "God,
Yeah,
fucking
it goes straight
morons."
up and then falls all the way down and kills
Yeah.
someone. Yeah.
Yep.
Trivia, the 2 kids that Charlie saved from the charging horse and carriage,
Yep.
like we said, was all his fault. The girl, Katie Gill, grew up to be super hot, and a steady acting career.
Oh, good
And
for
the
her.
little boy, Cody Gill, brother and sister, I'm guessing, or a fantastic
Yeah.
coincidence. He grew up not too shabby himself. And he
They
became
are
a
siblings.
stuntman and a stand-in in movies.
Really good for him.
Yeah.
But yes, they are siblings, FYI.
Yeah, I guess that.
And, Sir Cody Gill.
He's
He has
got
a
a
picture that
beard.
has a very impressive beard.
Yeah, but then there's another picture of him where he's shaved. Yeah, he's not too
Yeah.
shabby looking. Good for him.
Look at him with careers.
Torch is burned by his gasoline and killed by an approaching train. Okay. Yes, John chases him down. Wesley unleashes some kung fu.
Yep.
And by all accounts, I believe he's actually well versed in this. Like Wesley
Yeah.
Snipes. Like he's
Wesley
just isn't.
Snipes has studied a lot of martial arts.
Yeah. Yeah. Like he actually trains and practices all that stuff. Nice fight scene. Great kill by the Torch getting smoked by that train.
Yes.
Patterson fires Charlie for ruining the ambush. Trying to defend Charlie, John is fired as well, leading to his brothers having a major fallout. Yeah, because Dick Dashley appears and tells Charlie he can help him, and all he has to do is ask. When Charlie goes to stand up, because he's sitting against a subway pole, Dick Dashley, in the most dastardly way, pushes him down and says,
No,
you can
do it
ask
for
from
you.
down there. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, this is getting into sexual harassment territory.
Yeah. Just weird. Just
This
a
is so
weird way to go.
Yeah.
Charlie tells him to go fuck himself. Dick fires him. John tries to intervene. Does he get fired or suspended?
I think he gets fired.
Fired. Yeah. Okay. On New Year's Eve, after they, and then John and he says he's done with Charlie. That's it. And then they leave. On New Year's Eve, John storms into Mr. Brown's strip club after hearing about Charlie. Okay, Wikipedia. Back up a bit. Charlie ends up at the bar drinking. He gets cut off by the bartender, goes to the bathroom. Then the mobsters show up, slap him around. He's like, slapping you isn't working, so pay us or we're going to kill your brother.
The term that they use.
Oh, they drop the N-word. Yeah.
They do. Your N-word brother.
That's right.
Because he doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have a kid, so he's like, we're just gonna have to.
You have to do your.
You have to if you want to keep your N-word brother safe.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
1995.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, John hears all of this, goes to the strip club, and this isn't a huge deal, more of a nitpick. How come I can see Jennifer Lopez's boobies, but every one of those strippers had a bra on or was dancing and covering their titties?
I don't
$68 million and you couldn't afford a few titties in a strip club?
Probably not, to be perfectly honest.
This would have been one of my notes as a movie executive.
They probably would have had to pay them more. Therefore, they're like, no, we're already spending too much money on this. But also, generally speaking, the strippers are dressed when they're backstage. Just saying.
But when we go in, it's out front because he walks in the front and goes all the way around. No, he goes in front and then he walks into the back where they are. That I get. But when he walked into the front, they were up dancing and stuff. But and they weren't wearing anything, but their hands were covering as they were dancing.
Oh,
or they were
yeah,
doing
yeah.
This. Every single one of them.
It's because they probably had to pay more.
Yeah.
Some titty action.
Yeah.
Just saying. Although there is a logic problem with when what's his name? Charlie finally goes into John goes into the back and he starts beating up all of everybody, basically. He's an ass kicking machine all by himself, not even afraid of the mobsters, who apparently never figured out that they should probably pull out guns and just start shooting. But I mean, it's fine. The mobster who used the N-word all of a sudden, John says it back to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, his N-word brother or something," and kicks him through the glass wall. And
Yeah.
I was sitting there going, "Wait, if John is not talking to Charlie, and it was the bartender who called to tell John what happened, he wasn't in the bathroom when that comment was made?"
He could have been very nosy and went up to the door and kind of like listened in.
Possibly, but I was like, I was sitting there and I was like, "How did John know that that was said about him?"
Yeah, no, and because they needed that because he said, "Who you calling N-word?" And then he roundhouse kicks him and through the glass thing. So they needed to do that.
But I was like, "How did he know?
Yeah,
How
no,
did he know? Was the bartender really just sitting next to and not doing a goddamn thing to help?" But I'm just saying.
yeah. So yeah, and defeats the mobsters. I'm Wikipedia here. Uses his
Yeah.
martial arts skills, threatening Brown if anything happens to Charlie, knocking him out with a 360-degree kick into a glass enclosure. Yes, very cheesy. Some cool martial arts stuff.
Yeah. No, the
But
fight
yeah,
scenes were actually pretty good in this collection of scenes. I really enjoyed them.
yeah.
Um, everything surrounding it was kind of weird, but okay.
And if you are
Great fight
listening to
scenes.
this, yeah, if you are listening to this, boys and girls, even if you have a good grasp on martial arts or mixed martial arts, do not go up to beat up gangsters.
No, don't.
They'll just if you beat up one or two, the next one's gonna shoot you.
True story.
If
You
they
may not
see how
even
good
get
you
to
are,
number 2.
yeah, you might not even get to number 2.
Yeah, they won't hesitate.
No.
Only movie mobsters wait.
Yeah, like movie mobsters aren't well versed at fighting or
Yeah,
yeah.
apparently they are
In real
always getting
life,
their ass
I'd
kicked.
probably guess they've been in a tussle or two.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
I'd
just
say
wouldn't
so.
I wouldn't do it. Where are we here? Grace persuades John to intervene in Charlie's robbery. What the leave it to Wikipedia. Okay, so John meets
Yes.
Grace at the bar.
Yes,
The bartender gives the present to John, saying it was from Charlie. There's a
yes,
postcard on it, and it says,
yes.
it's a beach and a palm tree,
Something
and it
about the
says,
islands.
"The islands await."
Yeah.
And inside is that little train replica that Charlie stole from Dick Dastardly. John puts it all together, which is good considering he's a police officer, and sometimes that's part of the job. Charlie enters the money train from beneath, throws out the driver, and drives it to the ladder, but is unable to escape with the money due to the presence of a group of NYPD mounted cops. That was funny. Reaching the train, John persuades Charlie to drive further to avoid arrest. Yeah, how do you get? I even hear him get on there, or see him get on there, or
I think he got on at one of the stops. No,
or
wait.
when he was
Didn't
trying
he
to go up
jump
the
onto
ladder.
it? Was it when he got onto the ladder? When he was trying to
Because
go up the ladder?
that's right, because he knew about the ladder
Yeah.
because Charlie kept talking about it. Okay. John persuades Charlie to drive further to avoid arrest, and they disable the brakes to prevent Patterson activating them remotely.
Mhm.
Patterson deploys a steel barricade, but John and Charlie accidentally increase the train's maximum speed and smash through the barricade. No, they meant to do it. How the fuck do you do it accidentally?
You don't. They meant to do it.
Yeah, they meant to do it. John says speeding up is the only way that the train will stay on the tracks and go through it. And this is where you could have had the train robbers as the side story, build
Yeah.
their characters and drop the serial killer torch until the sequel. I just think they wasted. They had a great opportunity here. John and Charlie hop the train and no, wait, I missed a paragraph. Transit Control Officer Kowalski declares the money train a runaway and starts clearing tracks, but Patterson diverts the train onto a track occupied by passengers train 1220 to prevent the riders' escape, and does not tell the driver about the money train coming up behind them. That Wikipedia has train 1220 that accidentally sped up the train, but they have 1220. When Charlie tries to steal the money, John attempts to stop him from doing so, leading to a brawl between the brothers. I like that Charlie fought dirty.
Yeah.
Like it made sense. Woody has no kung fu skills. Like he kicks Wesley in the nuts.
Yeah.
Bitch slaps him with that bag of coins.
Yep. He's like, "No, I'm winning this. I don't care how, but I am coming out on top."
Yeah, well, especially with all that money.
Yeah, but then his conscience gets the better of him when he smacks him upside the head with the money
He
bag. That
falls out of the
pushes him
train.
out,
Yeah.
and the only
Uh,
thing that's keeping him up is, like, his foot on the bars,
yeah.
and then, Charlie goes to save him and lets him lean outside of that train for a very, very long time
Yeah.
while saying, "I'm here. I've got you. I've got you. I'm here,"
Yeah.
and not actually pulling him up.
Like he was thinking about letting him hit
Yeah,
that thing.
like, not until, um, the switch is coming up, like, the light,
Pulled him in.
and that's when he pulled him in, and I was like, "Well, if it was that easy, why didn't you do that, like, 3 minutes ago, instead of just letting him hang out the side of the train?" I'm like,
Dramatic effect.
yeah, felt stupid. I was like,
Eventually sorry, go ahead.
no, I was that scene drove me nuts. "I'm here. I've got you. I've got you. I've got you." I'm like, "Then pull him up." That was all I thought. Then pull him up. No, just gonna let him hang there. Anyways, go on.
Eventually the two stop fighting when Charlie saves John from falling off the train. Yeah, not for not. The action sequence were good, like
Yeah.
practical, expensive, shot in New York, and New York action scene, and they covered all of New York.
Yep.
Times Square, Rockefeller Center, where the tree will, everything, the subway system. There must have been some pissed off New Yorkers during that film set. Holy shit. Like we read that Ghostbusters, they were so mad at it that
Yeah.
a lot of them didn't even go watch the movie. They must have been, yeah, that's why it bombed.
Yeah, but also I think a lot of this movie is actually done at night for a reason.
Yes, yeah, a lot less. Yeah.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
are
that
not a
makes
lot of
sense.
daytime scenes.
No, not
So
at all.
that might be the only reason that they're still allowed back in New York today.
The money train slams into the rear of the passenger train and slows down, but speeds up again, continuing to ram it with the increasing risk of derailing it and killing everyone on board, including the driver. With no brakes and the throttle jammed, the brothers decide to throw the train into reverse to save the passenger train. Charlie positions an iron bar to trip the reverse lever, and the brothers climb on top of the train. I do love that Hollywood time. Like the train smashed the passenger train,
Yeah.
slowed, sped up, smashed it, slowed, sped up, but then took its sweet ass time to do it again until they figured out how to like to
Yeah.
get away. Yeah. The money train rams 1220 again. Activating the reverse lever, putting it into reverse position, and the brothers jump across to the 122 train as the money train derails, to the horror of Patterson, who is waiting at the next station with the officers. If that was a miniature, which I'm guessing it was, that whole train rolling, but at 68 million, maybe they did a real train for, I don't know. It looked great.
It looked amazing.
Yeah.
It looked absolutely amazing.
When arriving, the brothers try to escape, but are spotted by Patterson, who interrogates them. Actually, John was like, "Don't run, just follow my lead." And they were like saying that they were there to help, but fed up with this abuse, they both punch him in the face after he spits on John. Yeah, because they were saying they're there to help, and he's still, "Why are you here? I fired you. You guys are losers." And that's some big words for someone that you no longer have working for you.
Yeah. there was a lot that I was like, this is a lot of like moments for you.
Yeah.
This is big feels from a little man.
Yeah. As Patterson shouts out for their arrest, he is arrested himself by Grace for endangering the passengers' lives, much to the brothers' amazement. The brothers then exit onto Times Square just as New York countdown begins and ends, ringing in 1996. So long ago. so young and child free in 1996. During the celebration, John realizes Charlie has a bag with over 500,000, much to his dismay. The film closes with the brothers walking off into the distance, arguing over the money while the credit rolls. And that is our movie.
That it is.
It is. What is your score?
Skip it.
Skip it?
Skip it. Like there are redeemable moments in it. The chemistry between Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes is off the charts, and they have such great screen presence. It's a joy to watch them.
Yeah.
Even if you don't think what they're saying is funny, they have so much magnetism and they just gel so well together. It's a great performance regardless. But for an action movie, there's not enough action for me. It feels like they crammed all the real action, like you have action moments,
Yeah.
but all of the action is like in the last 15 minutes of the movie. And I'm just like, we spent a lot of time with a lot of nothing. And it wasn't paced well. There were so many logic holes in the story. There's so much stuff that you're just like, you went too far with it that it no longer serves the story.
Yeah.
Like you think it does, but it doesn't. And that will drive you nuts. So for the 15 minutes of really good action, the rest of the movie was not worth it for me. Also, it feels like Jennifer Lopez was literally just acting by herself. Like I've never seen, like, I feel terrible saying this. I do. But I've never seen someone with less chemistry with their co-stars than this. Not even because at least sometimes you see people who don't have chemistry, but you can tell that they hate each other
Yeah.
and they're like playing against each other. You can feel that. This just feels like she was playing up against like a green screen. Like there
Yeah.
was nothing there and
Talking
she
to
had
the
no
stand-in.
reference. Yeah, honestly, yes. It feels like she was acting in front of a cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
And it hurts my heart. Also, that sex scene was not sexy.
No.
It was not hot. There was no, like, if you're gonna give me sex, give me hot sex. This was not hot sex. So yeah, I say skip it. I don't think it's worth your time. It doesn't have enough redeeming qualities to make it worth your time.
All right, skip it. All right, my score. Okay, where is it here? This could have been a much better movie. This could have been a franchise and at a lower cost. Like move it somewhere else. You could have saved $20 million not shooting in New York. We already know New York. People hate you fucking up their traffic, and this movie fucked the traffic, the subways, the Times Square, Rockefeller, wherever that Christmas tree is. Anyways, could have, would have, but they didn't. This is not a great movie. I didn't hate it. A lot of the reviews, mostly from audience members, pegged it. J-Lo and Wesley banging and chopping wood was not great. Simple entertainment. There was a plot there. It was stupid. They needed a lot of extra fluff just to get it there. But we did get to the finale. Some side steps notwithstanding, but I found some of it entertaining. J-Lo, not her best movie. Smoking hot, but not her best movie. She wasn't. I was gonna say she wasn't as bad as some people criticize. She kind of was.
She was bad, yo.
I just keep seeing that shot of her bum when she's playing the pinball machine. She's not that bad of an actor. Come on.
I'm sorry. I also feel like she's never actually played pinball before.
Yeah, no, that was horrible.
That was
as soon as I said
saw her
that,
do it. I was like,
that's not how you play pinball.
no, that's someone
No.
who's never played pinball before. I'm just saying.
Yeah, she's not a pinball wizard, that's for sure.
No.
But the sheer chemistry of Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes kept this movie together and made it somewhat watchable and fun for me. I didn't want to turn it off. It was stupid. It had some questionable and nonsensical choices, and it's not so bad that it is good. That is hard to accomplish at $68 million in this caliber of actors. Not J-Lo. This, I would say, a mindless, non-plot heavy, but somewhat entertaining and a bit charming action movie. The action was solid when it was there. The chemistry was off the charts. It reminded me how awesome these guys were or are. Like Woody Harrelson has been very consistent. Wesley Snipes was the best thing in Coming to America too. He was great in Dolomite Is My Name, and he was in so many 80s and 90s movies I remember loving. Not so bad. It's good. No, it's not one of those. A slight guilty pleasure in that I would say stream it if you haven't seen it in a long time and you remember liking it. You're not going to like it as much as you did, but you might get a kick out of seeing that was nostalgia. That's what the only thing I could say. The nostalgia kept me from hating this movie, and it was Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. So I say stream it. Yeah, I'm confident with a stream. I wouldn't pay money for it. I did pay money for it.
I also paid money for it. A little mad about that. Not
I
gonna
was
lie.
like, I was contemplating, should I buy it? What if it's good and I just rent? No, I've done that already with a couple.
Yeah, no, I decided to rent it. And I'm so glad that I did rent it. Because I'm like, I don't want this in my collection. Sorry, Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. You guys are awesome, but I was like, nah, man, nah. But there was a lot of nostalgia and there was a lot of, kind of the 90s.
The 90s, yeah.
There's
Like I
one
might
point.
watch it again. I
Yeah.
I won't be paying for it. If I see it on a streamer like in a few years down the road, I might be
Yeah.
it's just gonna be because of Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes.
They have
I would
such good chemistry.
probably do White Men Can't Jump. I
Ooh,
haven't seen that movie a lot in a long time, but I
same.
remember really liking that movie, and I would
I
probably watch that
remember
one.
really
But
liking it too. Rosie Perez is in it, isn't she?
yeah,
I love Rosie Perez. Like I have an unnatural love for her. Like
who
it's
was the other
big.
lady in that? I can't remember.
I
But yeah, I
don't
remember that being a
remember.
great movie.
I remember it being great too. And what have we learned in doing this podcast?
Yes, I like
Chances
that
are.
also. Yeah. So we have a skip it and a stream it.
Yes.
So, anything else you want to say about this movie?
I just want to say that in the scene where they're in the bar, and J-Lo walks up to him and you get a close up of her lips, and she has what we affectionately called the Chola lipstick, which is the dark liner
Yeah.
around the very pale lips. I was like, shit, I forgot that was a thing we used to do.
1995.
Woo woo. Yep. Oh yeah. I was like, oh shit. That was super duper 90s. But yes, she was smoking hot in this movie.
Yep.
And terrible.
Acting.
Smoking hot.
Couldn't play fucking pinball if her life depended on it.
Yeah. Her acting wasn't terrible.
No,
Like,
it's never
her-
terrible.
No, her performing was fine. It just felt like she was by herself and
Yeah.
just reciting the lines.
Yeah.
Like she had decided how she was going to deliver the lines, and that's what she did, regardless of what was happening around her.
Yeah, now you say it, there weren't a lot of where there were a lot, there were a few shots, but not a ton where there were her and another character in the same shot. A lot of them cut.
There was
to
a lot of
just her.
coverage. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of coverage, but also there was just a lot of like, I'm like, was the other actor even in the scene with her, or was she just like, was the director just like, look at Phil, the PA, and say your lines to him? Like, it was very concerning. But anyways, that's all I got to say.
All right. Well, that was Money Train from 1995. And thank you for joining us. Like and subscribe if you like it. Bitch about it, whatever. And then join us until we remember the next movie we remember liking.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.